54 years. That's how long Pete Maravich's scoring record stood untouchable, until Caitlin Clark shattered it. Then she went to the WNBA and broke points records, assist records, three-pointer records as a WNBA rookie. She capped her historic year by winning Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year for 2024. But guess what? Caitlin Clark's barely getting started. In this video, I'm showing you the stats for the most electric player in college basketball history, and despite a historic rookie year in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark is only going up. Everything you've seen so far from Clark is merely the very bottom of what she could truly achieve. To see where Caitlin Clark is going into the future, we need to look at her past. Let's start with what matters most in today's game, fantasy basketball points. Why? Because it captures a player's complete impact. For the NBA, ESPN calculates fantasy points by adding points scored, total rebounds, three-pointers, free throws made and field goals made, then 2 for assists and 4 for steals and blocks. Then you subtract 2 points for every turnover and subtract 1 point for every field goal attempt and free throw attempt. Sum all that together across every game and you have the total fantasy points. She had one of the best freshman years in college basketball history. But the crazy thing is, every year after that, she's gotten better and better. By the end of her senior year, she was generating almost 50 points per game when you factor in points scored and assists. Now that you've seen her overall college stats, every video from now on, I will compare her rookie year in the WNBA. First, we'll look at the most basic of all metrics, points scored. Here's where it gets interesting. The WNBA is a different beast entirely. The players are stronger, more fit, and after all, it is their professional job. Critics wondered, could Caitlin Clark maintain efficiency against bigger, faster defenders? The answer, no. In the first 30 games of her WNBA career, Clark is scoring the least in her entire career. She was thrown into the most hectic game schedule imaginable. She also had almost no rest from her college career. Not only that, Clark's unique play style meant there was a lot for her teammates to adapt to. In fact, let's look at other stats and you'll see the same pattern. Here, we're looking at three-pointers made. In the first 30 games in her WNBA rookie year, she made the least number of three-pointers in her entire career. In college basketball, she had broken Steph Curry's record for the most number of three-pointers made. In her junior year, she made 360 attempts and made 39% of them. In her senior year, she made 532 attempts at 38%. Compare that to her rookie year, where across 40 games, she attempted only 355 three-pointers and made only 34% of them. In point generation, which is a combination of points scored plus 2 times the number of assists, she also had the worst start in the first 30 games. In her junior year, she was scoring almost 27.8 points per game, while assisting 8.6 per game. In her senior year, she made 31.6 points per game, while assisting 8.9 per game. Compare that to her WNBA rookie year, where she scored 19.2 points per game while assisting 8.4 per game. Some of you might be thinking, it sure sounds like Clark struggled in her rookie year, right? Sounds like Clark couldn't handle the pro game, right? But look at this. In Caitlin Clark's rookie year in the WNBA, she broke the record for most points in a rookie season, most assists for a rookie, most three-pointers for a rookie. Oh, she also broke the WNBA league record for most assists in a single game, broke the WNBA league record for most total assists in a season. She also led the entire league in three-pointers made. Let me make sure that I got that through. Caitlin Clark had the worst start of her career in the first 30 games, and she ended up leading the entire league in three-pointers made and assists, had the highest point generation stats perhaps ever. She was the best guard in the entire league. Let that sink in. She wasn't just the best rookie guard, she was the best guard, period. Let's now look at all of this with a new perspective. You've seen Caitlin Clark improve every single season of her college career. What I'm going to show you now is the same stats in the first 30 games of her rookie year, but I also broke down the stats of her last 9 real games in her WNBA rookie season. What you're looking at first is average NBA fantasy points per game. In the latter part of her rookie season, Caitlin Clark shows that she's finally figured it out. Her overall fantasy points generation improved by the same level as between her sophomore and freshman year. If we look at points scored, you'll see another pattern. Clark already broke the record for most points scored by a rookie. If you look at her last 9 real games, well, those scoring numbers are historic. In 2024, A'ja Wilson broke the WNBA league scoring record with a 26.9 points per game average. Clark's last games, she's scoring 24.7 points per game. When we look at three-pointers made, it's even more stark. In the first 30 games, Clark averaged 2.8 three-pointers per game. In the last 9 real games, she averaged 3.9 per game. While in the first 30 games, she made the least three-pointers of her career, in the last 9 games, it's good enough to tie for second. The amazing thing is that despite that poor start, Caitlin Clark led the entire league in three-pointers made in the 2024 WNBA season. Let me say that again, she led the entire league in 2024. In fact, she was only 6 three-pointers away from breaking the league record. However, where I see Caitlin Clark's true potential is in her shooting. Here, we're looking the effective field goal and true shooting percentages. Effective field goal factors in three-pointers, whereas true shooting percentages also factor in free throws made. As you can see, her rookie year is the lowest in both. What many don't realize is that with true shooting percentages and effective field goal percentages, Caitlin Clark is also barely getting started. As she's practicing her three-pointers this offseason, focusing on fitness and agility, her effective field goal percentages can only go up. I made a recent analysis that showed if she simply shoots more threes and hit them at the rate in college, she could break point records as well. Why is it that Clark is able to perform so much better in the later part of the season, whereas most players struggle, burn out, or simply hit that rookie wall? First, she had a break during the Olympics. I think that's a blessing in disguise. It gave her the equivalent of the time between college seasons. Second, her team adapted. But the most simple reason of all, she was playing at the bottom of her potential, and she was only going up. The numbers don't lie, they tell a story. And Caitlin Clark's story? We're still in the prologue. I do my own research, make my own graphs, and write my own scripts because I believe in getting the facts right. So when I tell you she's just getting started, that's not hype, that's math. As we've seen, when Clark struggles, she adapts. When she adapts, she dominates. And right now, she just got over her struggles. If this deep dive into Clark's evolution fascinated you, hit that like button and let me know in the comments, what records do you think she'll break next?